Welcome to Anime Thoughts, where I, your anime thought, will lead you into discussion. Today I'm going to be receiving a lot of hate. I want to talk about Overlord and why I think its popularity confuses me. Although I think some things are good, objectively, this anime makes me cringe when it comes to just about everything. The anime, like many of us know, is an isekai. It's a DMMO RPG, basically saying it's a dive type where you are actually in the games, just like SAO, and not like Log Horizon, where it's just a computer game in which the players get sucked into the world. The first part of the anime is to show how powerful the guild, the Great Tomb of Nazarok, truly is. They defeat, without even moving, what you can only guess as another guild, but we have no idea if the defeated group was any strong in the first place. Now to the isekai part, the game, after 12 years, is shutting down at midnight, so the MC decides to stay in till the server disappears. To his surprise, and not to ours, he finds himself actually in the game, as well as all the NPCs in his massive guild starting to act more lifelike. The last two important things is firstly, the staff he will be wielding from this point on is called the Staff of Ainz Al Gaon. Is considered super duper ultra powerful, and that's where his name kind of comes from. Second thing is the fact that he has extremely powerful subordinates that I would assume are more powerful than any raid and being on par with a bunch of world bosses following a leader if we were to look at other real life MMOs. First thing that I thought would have been solved in the later seasons is how powerful he is, as well as his subordinates. I understand that the anime is showing how powerful the guild is, but there was never a moment when I felt like the fights were suspenseful or really anything. It's always a complete stomp. At the end of each season, it hints towards an organization that is powerful enough to possibly damper the MC, but the organization slash person ends up being completely and totally annihilated. So why even show them as some mysterious group when it meant nothing in the first place? It had little impact on the story, being that the MC, whenever he wants, can destroy them, can destroy anything. Also, it shows him cautious and tactful when it came to approaching each group, but what was the point? He could literally destroy them in the first episode. The problem about the whole I am super powerful thing is that they build up these fights as if any of us actually thought the Great Tomb of Nazarok would be remotely injured. Anyway, I assume one of the major points of the anime is brutal domination of the world, but you would think the resistance would have someone capable of fighting even the weakest of the guild subordinates. Not to mention, in the last episode, he fights the strongest human of the Empire by freezing time, killing him in one blow. I'd rather the show focus more on world building or exploration instead of these built up one-sided slaughterfest. I know they have built up the world as well as explored, but I think so much more could have been accomplished instead of wasting our time on, again, one-sided 10-minute fights that gave no suspense. Just so you know, Fairy Tail is my favorite anime, so I'm pretty lenient about stuff like this, but something just doesn't sit right with me about Overlord. The next thing is about his humanity diminishing throughout the series. He talks about how he is slowly not caring about humans, assuming the reasoning is from being an undead. I like the idea of someone being plagued with the ever so growing hunger of destroying what you used to be, and honestly is a nice touch to the show. What made me cringe, so to speak, was the speed of descent from human to undead. I mean, in the first season, he literally crushes a woman to death, watching her life slowly fade away, while laughing. I don't think too many people would be capable of something so gruesome in the very beginning. I don't think the human will, so to speak, would have been broken so easily. In the later seasons, he goes on to much worse things that are built on his rapid feeling of humans as neutral, sentient beings. I guess if they were going to go the route of human to undead, you'd think he would have been more torn up about the whole killing humans things, being that he was just a human. I just figured the show would have been much better if he wasn't a psychopath at the very beginning. Honestly, this is probably a minor detail that only bothered me, so it's totally understandable if you disagree with me, but I thought it was a major turnoff. I love anime like Berserk or Akame ga Kill, where it's not all roses and smiles, but Overlord did it wrong for me. The last thing that really bothered me was the general plot. If we try to summarize the show in one sentence, it would be read along the lines of the most powerful character decides to conquer the world. In other anime, that would be called the Demon King, or some other fancy word for the really strong bad guy. In almost all the other anime, the big, strong bad guy can't fully take over the world because he is met with resistance of not just a hero, so to speak, but the rest of the people in the world. There is no balance in Overlord, which means Ainz Outgunned steamrolls past everyone and everything. A similar idea is One Punch Man, where he is crazy strong, capable of defeating anything if he chose to, but the story is more along the lines of him being misunderstood while trying to grow in the ranks of the Hero Association. This makes you want to watch the fights to see how he wins without killing his target, or enjoy how each power fares against his Super Saiyan-like strength. Unfortunately, Overlord is premised just around a power-hungry young adult that just wants to conquer. We already know he is going to conquer the world. We know that from the meaningless fights that showed his overwhelming strength over and over again. There is no underlying plot that makes you want to keep watching. Now, the first season was great because it left a lot of possibilities out in the world, but after 3 seasons of the same thing, other than that one arc with lizard sex, I can't imagine why anyone would want to watch season 4 unless it's purely to see Ainz Outgunned defeated. I guess what I'm trying to say is the anime is just a husk covered by animation with no real meat other than the lizard sex. If they do come out with season 4, I will watch it purely because I want to see the MC die. Okay, I'm glad I got that off my chest. Now, before any of you say, but the manga said this and that, I don't base anything off of manga, but just the anime itself. I think of the manga and anime as separate things, so I will review them separately. For my subs, I know this is a little different than top 10s, and no, I won't judge you any differently if you love Overlord. I love that about anime, how we can be so different in our opinions of series. I want to do stuff like this more often with what I liked/disliked type of stuff, so comment down below if that's something you might be interested in. Let's reach 10k subs, and I will see you weebs when I see you.